friends, it's Rana and I'm here today to tell you about a modern poetry collection book that I recently read and fell in love with. But first, let me tell you this small background story. If you don't know, I really love reading poetry and poetry collection books, but I have a really hard time finding a poetry collection book that I entirely adore and love with all of my heart. And it was really hard for me recently to find a poetry book, especially modern poetry book, that clicks with me. So I stepped away from reading poetry books for a while now. I think it's been a year or 2 years since the last time I read and gave a poetry book 5 out of 5 stars. But then one of my booktube friends, Emily, from her channel Emily Reads Books, wrote a poetry book about Hades and Persephone, and she started sharing some of her poems on Instagram, and I really loved them. So when she opened the chance for readers to request an ARC, like an advanced reader copy of the book before its publication date, which will be on the 21st of March, I immediately applied for it, and I ended up being given an e-ARC to read and give my honest opinion on it. I just wanted to mention that for full transparency, but if you know me, you know that I am quite honest about my opinions about books. I never say I like a book if I hate it. I am really harsh with books, and I rarely give 5 out of 5 stars. I'm really stingy with my 5 stars. So when I give a book 5 out of 5 stars, that means I really love that book, and I never lie about my ratings. Anyway, the book is letters from Hades to the love of his life, Persephone, written over a year-long duration. And the book is divided into 4 parts, a part for each season, starting with spring, where Hades is lonely, sad, and miserable, all alone in the underground because Persephone just left to spend her time with her mother in the human world. And the book ends with winter, where the two lovers are finally reunited at last. And don't worry if you are not familiar with the myth of Hades and Persephone, because Emily wrote a small summary at the start of the book for you to know the whole picture of the story. I read this book in less than a couple of hours, and it is a fairly short book, a little bit over 100 pages. And when I tell you that nothing could have prepared me for how much I was going to love this. And I swear, I'm not saying this just because Emily is my friend, but this book is one of the best modern poetry collections I have ever read, and I have read tons and tons of them. Yeah, my love for Greek mythology played a small role in my love for this book, but I think Emily is truly an amazing poet, and she has great skills as a poet, and I think she will have a great future ahead of her, given that this is her first book. And I don't even know how she managed to hide her talent for this long. So I'm here to convince you to give this poetry book a chance if you, 1, love modern poetry or poetry in general, and 2, if you are a fan of Greek mythology. And I can guarantee you, 99% guarantee you, that you are going to love this book as much as I did. And now I will share with you 12 poems that I loved from this book, 3 from each season, starting with spring. But I have to tell you that summer is the best season in this book. It had the most stunning poems. And please note, I'm not a performer of poetry, I'm just reading you my favorite poems. Happiness in your absence is like smiling at a funeral. Those simple words you spoke to me still ring in my mind. Even now as I lie in this dark abyss, those words of youth and love, so normal, so instinctual, like legs entwined beneath linen sheets, I've tattooed them on my heart so I may never forget I'm yours. If only the spring rains would wash me clean of the memories that cling to me in grey. I keep myself locked away in a ripped cage. There is no lock on the door and no one left to be saved. Orpheus came to me and wished to reserve death. A fool's errand it was, for death claims us all except those who long for its embrace. Midnight chimes on the shortest night. I cannot sleep these days. Your silhouette haunts my thoughts, and your eyes haunt these halls. If I turn my head quick enough, I can almost see your shadow, and in the dead silence of night, I listen, even still, for your laugh. How foolish of me when I know we still have many thoughts to go. The relentless waves within me drown out the music of your voice when you are so far away and I am so far below. Oh, darling, how the world shimmers at your every glance. Do you know how it longs to kiss your feet and blooms at your touch? How honey drips from your lips? Even Narcissus forgets himself when you come into view. I wear a mask of death, bone white with sunken cheeks. All those who see me fear, for I am the reaper of souls. Yet you came so willingly, you soften at my touch, braiding daisies in my hair and never saying much. Your eyes search to find me, the man behind the gate, who quivers at your glance and once didn't believe in fate. You dress in purple velvet, iron makes your crown, stone cold glare like mine once, all who'd come kneel down. I recognize the loneliness in you that seeps into your skin like water into the soil. It is in me too. A graveyard of broken hearts, wishing to be sewn together by love's red thread. Fate is a funny thing, the way you are tied to me by some invisible knot. Our hearts tied, our soul connected until I forgot what the universe was like before you. Historians will rewrite our story. We are not immune to the changes of time. They will call us many things. They will place words on our lips that were never spoken. But you and I, we will know the truths we speak in soft whispers of the evening, when only the souls of the damned may hear us. Forgive me for caging you away. I forgot that a bird needs to spread its wings in order to fly and sing. I worried a wandering eye might take you away in the night, just as I did so long ago.